Hello to people who watch these videos. We finally got a new character, Kyoshin, who I thought was named Kyoshin. But no, it's just like despair, anguish, edged things in Japanese, like normal. But, anyway. I'm not gonna waste too much time because a lot of people have already made Kyoshin videos. So I'm not gonna spend a ton of time on the actual chains. There's a few specific stuff that I'd like to talk about that I haven't really seen people put much emphasis on. I'll probably put a timestamp for that, just for people who want to skip all the basic stuff. But for anyone that this is their first video watching, I'd probably watch the basic stuff, because, you know, it's a little important. But I'll try to speedrun it. So you got the chains, they're all 2-hit chains. You have light, 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 heavy, heavy, light. All of your chain finishers are undodgeable. Your lights are enhanced. Well, they're not enhanced. They have superior block properties. So you can get crushing counters. So let's get this man to throw Ebby, not light Ebby, Ebby. You can get crushing counters. Very easy. Obviously, it's going to be guaranteed if it's a crushing counter. You can go straight into your chains. Pretty much bread and butter chain thing. He's pretty much just Japanese Blackbriar, if you really think about it. Because you either do your first of your chain and bash, or instead of doing the bash, you do either of your undodgeables. You'd probably usually do the heavy, really, because you can feint it too if you really want to. You can either light, bash light, or you can just light Ebby. So if you want to play him like BP, you can actually. He's just a little bit of a worse BP, because his dodge forward kick can be punished if you dodge and then guard break, which I'm pretty sure is a thing you can make bots do. Dodge and guard break, yep. I forgot Warren bots do that. Okay, hold up, give me a second. We're gonna need this Zerk bot later. I'll explain that in a little bit, but dodge and guard break, Mr. Zerk bot. Okay. Is guaranteed. If you do the kick, they get a guaranteed guard break. For the one in chains, can't really show it with the bot, but you know, this bash, if they dodge it on light hit stun, then they get a guard break if they do it early. If they do it on heavy hit stun, they don't get a guard break, but you can still dodge attack it. All simple stuff like that. All of your crap leads into your chains, like all your dodge attacks, your zone, your running attack. I'm not going to show that because that'd take a little bit of time, and I'm speed running. They all lead into your chains, so don't worry about that. The main big boy thing is all guard. Doesn't take any stamina to get into, so you can just spam this bitch if you really wanted to. It's very weak against bashes or unblockables, so any character that has that from neutral, you gotta watch out for it, because you got a lot of recovery afterwards. I'm spamming dodge there. It takes a little bit for your guard to come back up. You can definitely react to stuff, and you can also hit out of your all guard. So you'd have to interrupt unblockables or bashes if you really wanted to use it, which you kind of do because it's his best thing. But onto it. If you hit it, it makes all of the different attacks from it, like almost 500 milliseconds. I think it was like 466 or something. Really fast. You can't really parry it unless you have a really fast zone. Anything with zone properties. Characters like LB that have really fast zones that recover. Well, they don't have fast zones, but zones that recover really quickly. You can parry the follow-ups if you guess right. But against anything else that's blockable, which is most attacks, it should be good, because it's an all guard. Get the light. Always comes from their perspective, comes from the left side. I'm going to talk from their perspective because it doesn't really help knowing the direction from your perspective unless you're trying to mix someone up and you're really keeping track of that. Comes from the right if you do the zone, and then heavy is the unblockable. And this is why I really say this man's like BP, because after your chains, you can go straight into that. You got easy access into a unblockable for your 50-50, so it's literally the same exact mix-up as BP. You do light, bash, light, and then donche cortom, which I feel like most people are going to do. After you land one of your hits from the all guard, you can do either the Fujin cuts, I think they're called, Fujin slices. I'm not really going to look at the name. but I'm just going to use the light to demonstrate. You can do light. Those are the Fujin cuts, the 3 hits at the end. Or you can do what's called Fujin Force, which is the heavy. It's reactable, it's 600 milliseconds. On console, it's going to be a little bit hard to react to, but you can still definitely react to it. You can mix, as soon as you throw the heavy, it ends your chain. But I'm going to get into why actually using the heavy is pretty good to end with later. But you can mix it in either directly after do Fujin Force, or you can do like light. Just do one of the lights and then do Fujin Force. You can do 2 of the lights and then Fujin Force. You can mix it in as soon as you can throw one of the follow-up lights, you can do Fujin Force. So you do heavy, light, Fujin Force. The good thing about ending with Fujin Force instead of just the light, though, is if you end with the light, your turn's over. Your rights to the light spam are just gone. You now have frame disadvantage, but if you end with Fujin Force instead, your frame advantage is back. So you can just keep going. But that's only from the All Guard. So you're pretty much forced to go back to the All Guard if you really want to keep going. Which is why I say his All Guard's really good. Because if you want to dodge cancel, you can't. You can only cancel directly back into your All Guard. So you can do light, Fujin Force, and then you can go and do stuff. After you block a heavy, you can go straight. And your All Guard, as you can see, it very quickly can do that. You can't do it from hit stun, though, like Aramusha can. You can only just do it from block. So, Zerk doesn't have any, like, heavy light chains in here. You can kind of use it like Aramusha, or like with Konk's Zone, where you can just All Guard out of chains. So if someone hits you with, like, a light that's enhanced or just a heavy, you can just All Guard, and it should interrupt them. And then all your stuff is going to be guaranteed from there. Even on console, though, you can react to heavies with the All Guard. It's obviously harder on console, but you can still do it, because it does come up pretty quickly. All of them are going to be guaranteed. Both sides, the light and the zone, both do 8. The heavy does 10. They're all guaranteed, so pretty much just throw the heavy. The timing from the stuff, as you can probably feel, is, pretty strict. If I just have this man, if I try to input it a little bit later, sometimes it just won't happen. So it can be a little finicky, but you get used to it really quickly. Another thing that I was worried about was, since they're literally like BP, where you land an attack, you can go straight into your All Guard, is that they'd be able to stop deflects like Berserkers, because you could cancel into your stuff. I'm just gonna show BP doing that with a few characters, because it's a lot of it weird, actually.
Ad Profundis, I'm a Blackbriar main. I main BP, did I not tell you? Ad Profundis!
But I was hoping that Kyoshin wouldn't be able to do that, which he can't, and I'm gonna show you doing that. You can't go into your All Guard immediately, and then do the light. Which the light has no guard break vulnerability, kind of like Glad's back. I don't remember if Glad's Zone still has 0 guard break vulnerability. But I know I'm pretty sure Freeze brought a lot of attention to this, so I'm not really going to spend too much time on it, but doesn't have any, the light from the All Guard doesn't have any guard break vulnerability, so you can kind of just light on reaction to guard breaks. On console, again, it's going to be harder. Can't really do it too well on console. I forgot to mention, whenever I say console, I'm talking about old-gen consoles. I'm just excluding new-gen consoles, because those are more like PC, you can actually react to lights. I'm now just going to go over the conclusions of just the basic moveset and stuff. I'll go over the feats later. I'm going to probably put chapters in the video, which is pretty much just the only way you can do that is by putting timestamps in the description. So if you really want timestamps, they're going to be there, but I'm also probably going to post in the comments, and as well as on screen, but it won't be a hyperlink on screen because I don't know how to do that. And I don't even think you can do that through PlayStation, but I'm going to get on to the conclusion now, at least for the basic moveset, feats later. Now we're going to start with the segment of stuff that people don't really talk Well, they didn't really draw too much attention to, which I think is pretty important. I'm gonna have this man block. And obviously the light's gonna bounce off because it's not enhanced. The zone's the only one that wouldn't bounce off and it's not unblockable. So if someone blocks the zone, you can't do the light follow-up because, you know, that would be guaranteed, but you still can do the heavy follow-up. So you can do a little something that looks like this if you really wanted to. My stamina is set to on, which is pretty cool. But that's why I'd recommend using the zone to start if you're doing a mix-up, because you can just go straight back into it. So it's not like a thing where it's like, ah, I blocked it, now I have frame advantage. It's more of a thing like, no. You know what I mean. I think that's pretty important to know because people usually think about it from the... If I make this bot dodge and then light, it should do is dodge light. If you do the heavy from Fujin... I don't know what the stance is called. Then you can do the follow-up heavy, which is Fujin Force because it has enhanced properties on all sides, as you can see there. People usually think about it if you whiff it because someone does a dodge attack, but it also works if someone blocks it. You get your main bread and butter combo, which is just either light bash light or light undodgeable heavy. Very similar to BP. You can obviously feint the heavy. You've got that easy access to the bash. So you can also guard break, bash. After your chains, you got that easy access to the unblockable. It's very nice. The all guard doesn't actually take any stamina, but it does pause your stamina drain, as you can see there. You can't use it whenever you're out of stamina. He's pretty easy to get used to. He seems maybe daunting a little bit, but in all honesty, Shaolin's still probably harder to use. The dodge attack, pretty quick, but not like too quick. I don't remember how much. It's probably as fast as Shaman's if I had to guess, except you can't delay it as much. Shaman's dodge attack is just insane with how much you can delay that shit. But you just got the main bread and butter. Already mentioned that. Pretty much stuff from his all guard. I'd recommend using the zone first, just in case someone blocks it. Then you can still go into your other chains. So where's Big Block Man? There he is. You can still do Fujin Force afterwards. So if someone's like blocking but not parrying on like PC because you can react to shit, then you can just keep going, and then you can mix it up into the unblockable if you want to do a 50-50. The punishes are pretty straightforward. It's like any normal hero. Light for the heavy parry, heavy for a light parry. I'm not really going to go too much into it because they're pretty straightforward. From a throwdown, it's just light and then heavy. I don't even think top heavy does more damage, does it? It doesn't, okay. Just light, heavy, any side. Pretty standard. You can't heavy light because for some reason there's a ton of delay between attacks, which is something that, you know, you can definitely feel. If you try to like light, it feels like you're doing two standing lights instead of a combo light. It feels very different from other heroes, which I'm not sure is really a good thing, but I guess it makes them feel different, so there's that. It's very easy to flow into your all guard, so you want to get used to the all guard pretty much. And the main thing that people are gonna have to get used to is just if someone has like tries to bash from neutral, someone tries to guard break, someone tries to use an unblockable, is interrupting them. Which, let's actually see how much range this has. I would assume not much. Like if someone's just like a gladiator and a Orochi, they're trying to like backstep light into dope heavy, trying to get like a unblockable so it'll go through your all guard if you're just standing there. Can't really do anything. You gotta get the timing to actually interrupt them, because you can't hit them from... You can hit them from there. That's actually pretty nice. Ooh, that's actually some good distance. That's some decent distance. What about the zone? Zone, not so much. Okay. Remember someone talking about the pitiful hitboxes? It was probably freeze. It's pretty much just a mix-up game. The only time that you wouldn't want to actually end it with a heavy is if the person that you're fighting is actually gonna like parry it. Because even if they do block the heavy, you still get frame advantage. Because you go directly back into your all guard. So if you know they're not gonna parry that bitch, you just go back into it. So let's say you do like Ebi, light, light, end it with Fujin Force, immediately back into frame advantage. And the light's not bouncing off because he's out of stamina, if you're wondering that. But, you know, you got the easy access to the unblockable. His punishes aren't too crazy. The follow-up heavies do 30 damage, which is actually a ton, especially for now. The bash is pretty cool, because he's kind of just BP except he has a dodge attack. And no good bash from neutral, which kind of makes BP BP, so not actually BP. Only in chains he's BP, is what I'm trying to say. Same input for frickin' Donchik or Dome as well. It's very weird. It's pretty much just about maintaining your stamina, because you can kind of just keep flowing into your kit like a bunch of times. Which, spamming Fujin cuts doesn't do a ton of damage. Like, oh shit, hold up. Stop doing that. Light, light. As you can see, that takes up 6 stamina per hit. And it does a total of 10, with 8 being the last one. So what I would recommend is try to use the least amount of the lights as you possibly can, actually. Kinda like with Shaolin's. We'd only do like 2 lights, even though you can do 3. It'd be better just to do as little as possible. So after you get the hit, if someone's not going to parry it, I'd recommend just doing Fujin Force immediately, instead of actually doing the slices. Because then you can just go straight in. It takes a lot less stamina, instead of taking the extra 6 to do each of those. Because if you do those, I'm just going to keep spamming with just the light one, see how different it is. Light, light, Fujin Force, light, 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 Fujin Force, light, light, light. You run out of stam there. And then if you just do with Fujin Force, you're gonna save 12. Would it be 12 stamina each time? Yeah, you'd save 12 stamina each time, which is how much Fujin Force takes anyway. Instead you just light, Fujin Force, light, Fujin Force, light, Fujin Force. You can just do it a lot more times, is what I'm trying to say. It'd be a lot more predictable, so you can't just do that. You still have to mix it in. But it's more beneficial for you if you just throw as little lights as possible. It looks really cool, but it takes a lot of stamina. It's only going to add 2 more damage to your thing, instead of actually giving you... It's only going to add 2 damage, and you're going to take 12 stamina, which is not the best trade. If you're running out of stamina, then obviously you shouldn't go back into the All Guard, because blocking, using the All Guard takes a lot of stamina. Nope, it's not. It's based on the damage then. Higher damage attacks make it so it's like that. So, definitely on console, people open up with the lights a lot more. If you're running out of stamina, then ending with a light would make more sense, because you're not even going to go into your All Guard, because then you'd probably run yourself out of stamina, because you can take a lot of stamina damage from just using your All Guard, which is it's a very good All Guard, because it doesn't take any stamina to get into. It comes out really quickly. It's like BPs, where you don't actually have to completely be in it to use its moves. Like, those are each of the guaranteed moves. Each of the moves from the All Guard. And as soon as you press down, you can do it. It's kind of like Toast Stab with Glad. The recoveries can be cancelled pretty late for actually a recovery cancel, but they can still be cancelled into Fujin Force. So if you want to do like light, Ebi, and then just do lights, you can. There's a lot of potential with the character. That's probably how I'd recommend using them, because all of this stuff's cool, but you actually have to get to the All Guard. Because just standing like this isn't the best idea. Because I'm pretty sure that you can still guard break that. Like, there's no way you can't just guard break. Yeah, you can just guard break the All Guard. On console, it's definitely very difficult. I didn't even react to it, I just know the timing. You know, he's overall actually pretty easy to use. There aren't really too, like, technical... Actually, there's pretty much no technical characters in this game. The most technical one's still Shaolin. But, you know, there's a lot of schmixing and schmoovin' you can do with this boy. But my only problem is that after you get into the All Guard, you can't dodge out of it. So you only have the All Guard mix-ups. I would love if you could dodge out of it so you could actually start your mix-up again, instead of just having to keep doing that until you almost run yourself out of stamina. Because he can get in pretty easily. At least on console. Like, you can't use the dodge bash to get in. It's unreactable on console. But you can punish it really easily. It only guarantees, like, what, 12 damage? Yeah, it only guarantees 12 damage. So it's not the best thing to use. But you can get in like any other character. But as soon as you get in to your All Guard stuff, you can't really mix it up into any basic stuff because you can only cancel it back into All Guard. You can't cancel it into normal moves or dodges. So it would have been really cool if you could like dodge cancel, kind of like Jean Hu does. So if you could do something like go into your stuff, finish with that, and then like dodge cancel, do a dodge so you could actually go back into your chains, do a little BP mix up, you know. Dolce Muen. You know, I feel like that's a little bit of a missed opportunity, but that's more just a me thing. Unfortunately, I do not own the Kyoshin because... Fuck, my controller disconnected. Actually, does it even matter? I can still record like this. You know what? We're gonna do it. Screw it. This is how we're recording now. I don't own the man because he costs like $8 whole, and I could buy like 2 large fry for that at the McDonald's, so I'm not buying them. I'll wait the 2 weeks. But I'm gonna talk about his feats because that's kind of just next. I'm not gonna try to say the names of them, but the first one just makes it so if you get a superior block, which is either from your All Guard or your lights, or the heavy after the first hit of the All Guard, which I can't remember the name. Fujin Force, there we go. Fujin Force, that's the big name that you need to take away from this. It's a very useful attack, because you can, you know, use it to cancel back into stuff and punish people for trying to dodge your attack. How dare they? The second one, Superior Block, makes it so all of your attacks heal you a little bit, which they did show that off. I watched the Warrior's Den thing for that. It gives you a little bit. It's not quite as nice as Warmonger's, especially since Warmonger has like a lot easier access into damage. Kyoshin seems like more of a chip at someone until they die, or you just get straight into your All Guard and then you start doing some big damage. Number 3, it just makes it so you have the 1 and 2 passive abilities, and it just gives it to you like instantly, which is, in my opinion, really bad, because you can just All Guard and get it, so it's pretty much just a free what you normally get from an All Guard Superior Block, which isn't even very hard to get. What I'm wanting to know is, can you have that if you don't have the first 2 feats? Like, is this feat completely useless if you don't have the first 2 feats? That's what I want to know. 4th feat, it pretty much ensnares all the enemies around you for a little bit. It's like Pugio, except John Hu's 4th feat, where it just like, Wolf on the here! And then fucking puts a big circle around them. Not actually a big circle, a tiny circle that's really easy to avoid. Except instead of setting them on fire and killing them, it puts them in like a Pugio, but for less time. So you can get like not very much from that actually, and it doesn't seem like a very good feat. Offers alternate feats that aren't the special ones. For the first one, he has Iron Lungs and Speed Revive, neither of which are really good. Iron Lungs makes so you can just sprint a lot of stamina. Speed Revive, you revive faster. The main ones that you really want to look out for is just, you know, Smoke Bomb as a second. You got Smoke Bomb. Arrow Strike, not very good. I'm pretty sure like Nabushi's another character that has that. I don't know if anyone else even has it though. You got Smoke Bomb though. Smoke Bomb is like meta feat. It's like really good. Smoke Bomb's really good, which is why I'm wondering if that 3rd feat actually works if you have Shit. I'm wondering if the third feat works if you don't have the first and second feat. For the third feat, you have Tough as Nails or Protected Revive. I already talked about that. Tough as Nails is pretty nice. It just raises your max health by a little bit. It's not too amazing, but it's extra health. Protected Revive makes it so your teammate, if you revive them, it gives them a little shield whenever you revive them, and it doesn't last for a very long time. It used to last for like a really, really long time, and it also used to shield you whenever you're reviving someone, but doesn't do that now, which kind of sucks, because it used to be my favorite feat. Oh my gosh, even though I never played D&D. For number 4, you have Arrow Storm, which is pretty good, and Fear itself, which is also pretty good. Which, honestly, I'd rather pick, like, either of those than the other one, because it's pretty much Pugio, but just a little... It's actually just Pugio, but worse. Because you need them to stay in the circle for it to work. Which is why Jean Hus is bad. I guess Jean Hus is also bad, because you have to be outdoors, because it's an aerial thing. Kyoshin's isn't an aerial thing, so you don't really have to worry too much about that. But, Arrow Storm is pretty much... If you time it right, it's a free kill. Fear itself just makes it so their defenses, enemies' defenses are decreased, and it also works on allies. By that I mean, if an enemy is in the circle, then allies also do more damage.
Oh, where's your deflect? Where's your deflect? Ad profundis! Oh, you wanna... Ad profundis! Ad profundis! You want to deflect me? I am the BP main! Ad profundis! I'm dying. I'm a Blackfire main! Ad profundis! Ad profundis! Ad profundis! I'm a Blackbriar main. I'm a very balanced character. I was kind of just hoping that that wasn't a thing for Kyoshin. My voice is a little bit fucked now, but you get the idea.